Welcome back to episode 48 of the Shy Sports Weekly podcast. Wow, did that feel good? It's been what, 2 or 3
Holy
weeks since
fuck, did that sound good?
since we heard that intro, boys?
Kyle needs to change his jeans, dude.
What's new? How we doing?
Pepper needs new shorts. It's good.
Bro.
No, feels good to be back. Ty was just in Thailand. I was just in Arizona. Max, where were you?
I was
South
in
Bend.
Mexico a couple weeks ago. I
Yeah,
don't know if
you
we
were
talked
in
about
Mexico. I don't know, but I'm glad you're back and healthy. And Ty, I'm glad you're back and just alive. And you look good. You don't look tan at all though. You look
that.
like
New
you're
podcast name, Shy Sports Day Globetrotters. Did you really
Shy
go to
Sports-
Thailand, or is that a joke?
No, and I would like to clarify that I was certainly not in Thailand. I was in California at Yosemite National Park. So almost. I was close to Thailand.
I was just gonna roll it.
In heart and
That
spirit.
white room you're sitting in is Thailand, spelled T-Y.
Wait, yeah, that's what I meant. T.Y. Lane.
I didn't need people thinking I was getting HJs from Ladyboys in Thailand or anything, you know.
Your room is like a green screen, but white.
And you blend right in.
I'm pasty, dude.
Hasty bitch.
I'm a
Jesus
tasty,
Christ.
pasty bitch.
You like
dude.
to
Hey,
sum it up?
mix in a walk outside. One
All
time
we
for me.
really missed is Doug.
Doug?
Oh shit! How was the? All right, real quick. Let's talk a little March Madness. St. Peter's. Holy
That's what
fuck.
I said. To sum it up, all we really missed over the last 2 weeks in coverage is Doug.
Dougie Eater. I was gonna say Doug Peterson for a second there. Doug Eater. Yeah, mustache Dougie. So before the tournament started, what were your final four teams?
Well, Kentucky.
Whoops.
Kentucky,
Yikes.
Gonzaga, but I did get the right half of the bracket right. I had Villanova against Kansas.
You did? You had those two?
Yep, and then Kansas winning it all.
Ty, who do you have? You didn't fill out a bracket.
No, I
shot.
did, and I'm trying to pull it up right now to let you know, dude.
If Kansas wins it all, I think I'll come in third in the
Oh.
bracket pool.
I'll tell you.
I had Gonzaga, UCLA, Iowa, and Arizona. 0 for 4. Crickets.
Did you have Iowa in your championship?
No, I had Arizona. I had Arizona winning it all.
Okay.
Maybe if you listen to our Zane Bando interview.
I- Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
think I-
there's a Zan
My bracket's
Bando.
so trash, bro. I think I had Baylor, Gonzaga, and Auburn, Arizona.
I mean, that's not like. I mean, yeah, your bracket's trash, but that's not like mine was like kind of crazy. Yours was actually like
I mean,
somewhat chalk there.
my buddy's girlfriend had Kentucky versus Iowa in the championship in hers, so her bracket was over within like 24 hours.
Her bracket was over by 8 o'clock.
She was in bed by 9.
I have to say, this past weekend of the Sweet 16 kind of sucked. Not gonna lie, under hit for 11 games or Sweet 16 and Elite 8. 11 of the 12 games the under hit. The first half under hit like in all of them. Like I just got fucked. It was the worst. Somehow I'm in the green, but I don't know. Talk about an upset.
I thought the Sweet 16 games were pretty good, but the Elite 8 games were boring.
Or I'm trying to think. Yeah, that Gonzaga Houston game kind of sucked. I don't know how Houston was favored in that. That made no sense, but I stayed away. I just dipped my balls all over Arkansas +4 and just got them chopped off. Let's see, Kansas. I had the over, didn't hit. That sucked. And then I had UNC money line. I took UNC money line parlay with a NBA game, but of course, the NBA game didn't hit.
St. Peter's beating Purdue was fun.
That was cool. Yeah. I also had the over in that game. That was I don't. Purdue sucks. Purdue is like the worst team ever. How are they a 3 seed?
I mean, they have Jaden.
They shouldn't have been.
And that dude.
I mean, that guy looks like he's never shot in a basketball.
Yeah, he was not good down the stretch. That was ugly performance by him, honestly.
And
that dude,
what was that
Zach
guy?
Edey, 7'4"
Yeah.
guy. I think he had 2 rebounds that game.
I would beat the fuck out of that guy. He's so soft. I'm
You
not.
would look
You
like
think I'm
you would
joking?
look like Hasbullah standing next to him.
Actually, no. He would just hold me. He would just put his arm out and just hold my head, and I couldn't reach him. But he is like, I mean, He's the softest person on the planet. He's
There's just-
7'4" and he
there's
doesn't
no
dunk.
excuse for him being
Dunk the fucking
7'4",
ball.
7'4", and having 2 rebounds against St. Peter's.
It's like, oh my god! And what didn't Doug Eddert or however Doug Edie? How do you say what's Doug's last name?
I think it's Eddert.
Mustache Dougie.
You know,
How
he's
does he
only
have
had
like the same amount of rebounds?
he's only had 1 sandwich in his life.
Yeah, that's actually I kind of like that. I respect that. He loves beat ups though.
You respect that?
Right. Yeah, I actually think sandwiches are very overrated.
So
I mean, I saw that and I thought, no, I fuck off. And Ty, what's your favorite sandwich?
Oh, a salami sandwich, no questions asked, done deal
Wow,
with fucking honey
that's-
mustard. Of course, dude. You guys are
and
nuts.
that leads
that fits
perfectly
the
into
bill.
our interview later with the owner of the Freezing Cold Takes Twitter page. A salami sandwich is your number 1 sandwich?
I mean,
That's a,
if I'm making one at home, yeah. If I'm going to Jersey Mike's, it's the fucking Italian.
Hopefully you have a Tic Tac handy.
he does in his pants.
Hey, when you look like this, you always got Tic Tacs handy, bro. Trust me.
But yeah, St. Peter's was
I don't know if that's a
basically
good thing or a bad thing, but
Both at the same
go ahead,
time.
Max.
St. Peter's was a ticking time bomb. It was a matter of time. They ran into their maker with North Carolina, unfortunately.
I mean that last game, yeah, the North Carolina St. Peter's game, it almost didn't matter who won because whoever played that game or whoever won that game was going to play Duke, and either way, it's like a crazy storyline: Duke versus UNC or Duke versus St. Peter's. I just want Coach K to lose. That's it. That's all I care about.
The more people that want Coach K to lose, the better he gets. It's like he's like a Dragon Ball Z character or something. Like he gains power when and I, for the record, I never watched Dragon Ball Z. But.
I was gonna say how about an accurate reference here? He's he's Voldemort and he lives on unicorn blood, but instead of unicorn blood, he lives on people hating him.
Yeah. Not even sure if that's accurate, but I'll agree with that.
Yeah, you know, I watched one Harry Potter this weekend pretty high, and I thought that made sense. But as I said it sounded very wrong. So I'm not sure.
So we have a blue blood Final Four: North Carolina, Duke, and Kansas, Villanova. I think the line's open. Blue blood? I mean, all the teams are blue, so I'm just gonna say, yeah, sure.
Fuck, you got me there. That's a good one.
So I think the line's open at Duke -4.5 and Kansas -4.
I'm looking right now. Hold on. Yeah.
I think I like the favorites there.
Opposite. Duke -4, Kansas -4.5.
Okay.
But yeah. All right, here real quick. Speed round. Let's do predictions. Our picks. Max, go ahead.
I'm gonna say
just go.
Kansas, Duke. Kansas wins it all.
No, I meant like betting picks, but yeah, that's good.
Oh, then I would take Duke.
You said you like both favorites, so you already predicted. You're good. I'm going over Villanova, Kansas. I think Kansas is going to win, and they're going to force Villanova to score.
Are you looking at what the Final Four games right now?
Yeah.
I was gonna go with the same teams Max had, but I got Duke winning it all just because it seems like the fucking
of course
thing
you do.
that'll happen. You know,
I feel like everything I want to happen, Ty wants the exact opposite to happen. Always.
Hey, who had a better record betting on football? Was it you? I can't.
We
remember.
tied. We tied.
Did we? Oh shit!
It was so long ago, no one even remembers.
No, we remember. We have to chug a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
So, right,
Yeah. We'll
easy
never
there. All right,
Number 48.
Yeah, let's get in the 48s. Then we'll jump into Fred because I feel like we're getting long here. We already recorded Fred. He's a nice interview, great interview, phenomenal guy. Loves the Marlins. If you don't like the 03 season, you might want to skip a little bit of that because he kind of just danced on our grave, so that kind of sucked. But let's get into number 48s. I'm starting. I'm going Patrick Scales.
Thank God. Joe Borowski.
Oh, you
I thought for sure you were going to ruin my night. Joe Borowski and I have the same birthday.
Do you? Damn,
Yep.
I didn't even. So I have Cubs by the numbers pulled up. I didn't even get that. I got to like Ryan O'Malley and I was like, all right, that's enough. And I was 6.
That's enough.
Scott Williamson, Joe Borowski. We should just do Cubs number 48s. Andy Pafko.
Jumbo Joe Borowski.
Andrew Kashner. Ty. If you can name the person that the Cubs acquired in the trade for Andrew Kashner, I will chug a gallon of milk. Nope.
What position and what team did he come from?
I'll tell you, he came from the Padres, but you can't look it up.
And what's his name?
His name's Anthony Rizzo.
Right here. My phone's over here.
Andrew Kashner.
Andrew Kashner. Is it actually Anthony Rizzo?
Yeah.
Okay. I would have never got there.
Yeah, I know.
Tom pulled out his notepad. He was going to start doing.
Somebody's got to take notes of this damn episode, and
he was going to start doing some long division and hope he came up with his answer.
Yeah. Hold on, he got traded on what day? Let me see here. Oh, that was Rizzo.
Spell his name.
All right, I'm gonna go local kid on the Blackhawks. Vinny Hinostroza, 48.
Jersey Jerry does the signs. We have the Psalms.
Yeah, we have the Psalms.
I love the Jersey Jerry signs. By the way,
It's the best.
Amazing.
We need to just do like a 3-minute rant every episode of
Vinny Hinostroza
going off. Yeah, Vinny Hinostroza.
He was number 48. Funny story about Vinny Hinostroza. He went to Bartlett High School.
And he knocked the fuck out of you, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. They're in our conference. So like freshman year of football, I think I was playing safety and he was playing tight end. I'm going to tackle a running back on the sideline, and I'm just not looking. And I'm running on a direct line to the running back. He drills me in the shoulder pad and my feet go flying up in the air and I landed on my back. I specifically remember looking up and a kid on our team comes and helps me up. He's like, dude, you just got knocked the fuck out by Vinny. So that's my Vinny Hinostroza story.
You think if you message him and be like, you remember that kid you almost killed in a football game in high school? Yeah,
no.
That's me. You want to come on our podcast?
No, he's probably leveled hundreds of other guys since then.
No, because he, as we're talking, he's legitimately playing a hockey game at the United Center against the Hawks.
Could have been
on
us,
the Sabres playing against. No, it could not have been us. Not in no way, shape, or form could that have been us. I'm gonna go Esteban Loaiza on the White Sox, but only in 2008.
Are you just gonna keep going, just like skipping my turn, or?
I mean, if you're gonna go.
All right, Nazi Muhammad, the only Bull to ever wear number 48.
Nazi Muhammad. Yep. What team are we missing now? Bulls, Blackhawks. I'd said Patrick White Sox.
Oh,
Patrick Scales.
Okay.
Let's just do more Cubs.
I think we touched them all. Who did Nazi Muhammad push in the playoffs?
Wasn't it LeBron?
I think it was LeBron, right?
I'm assuming it was LeBron. I hope it was LeBron.
Right.
By the way, I posted how about that? I posted a clip yesterday of Kirk Heinrich kind of like tackling LeBron. LeBron is such a bitch. That's all. That's
all you need to say.
I haven't said it in a while. He's a bitch.
Yeah.
Here, real quick, let's just go through number 48s on the Cubs specifically. Pierce Johnson, former
Rick Russell.
Ryan O'Malley. How about Ryan O'Malley's story? Do you remember him? No, I know you don't.
No, I don't. I'm nodding my head. Yes.
You're shaking your head. Yep. Like, Kyle, shut the fuck up. He made one spot start, 2 career appearances, 1 spot start in 06, 8 innings, 1 strikeout, 2 hits, no runs. Not a big deal. And then made like 1 other start, got shelled, never pitched again in the bigs.
More impressive that he threw an 8-inning shutout with 1 strikeout.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
A kid I went to high school with wrote a book that you might have heard of. It's called the Cup of Coffee Club or something.
I haven't heard of it.
You don't even know the name of it.
I forgot. It's been a while. But it's a book about dudes who only played 1 game in the MLB. There was like a handful.
You might have heard of it.
And he interviewed. Well, it's kind of a big sports book, quite frankly.
You don't know the damn name of it.
Well, that's because I'm a fucking moron, dude. Look at me. You expect me? You think I've ever read a book in my life? Get real, dude.
I didn't know you could read.
I can't.
It's impressive. Talk about an upset. Talk about an upset. All right. You got anything else there, Maxie?
Yeah. Neil Kotz to close it out.
Oh yeah, Neil Kotz. Was he 48 on the south side too?
No, just the Cubs.
I'm trying to think if there's any other good ones here. Rafael Delisi. He's actually kind of good now. Yeah, that's it. All right. Let's jump into the freezing cold takes, old takes exposed interview. It's a great one. It's a long one, so buckle in, enjoy, and go Cubs. All right, everyone. We have a very, very special guest here. We have the mastermind behind Old Takes Exposed and This Day in Sports Clips, Mr. Fred. Is it Segal? How do you pronounce your last name? Segal? Segal. Fred, how we doing?
Good. Very good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming on. So obviously we could go to both accounts. You have 2 massive accounts that you run, but your freezing cold takes account, we got to ask, like, how did you come up with that idea? That's like I mean, you have over 500,000 followers. It's phenomenal. How did you even come up with that idea?
Well, the idea itself is not necessarily genius and creativity, but it was like 5 or 6 years ago, probably. And Twitter was really starting to blow up, probably already had, and people would like to reporters always patting themselves in the back about different things that they said that were right. And just like I said yesterday, this happened. Retweet their own tweet. But I always remember those same reporters who said something was ridiculous, and they don't talk about that. So I just decided that I was going to post those, and it got right away. People started really taking into it, and it's the amount of help I would get from people to find certain posts about people who said stuff wrong was a great help, and it really kind of took its own life pretty quickly.
Yeah, it's honestly the perfect concept because you're really just recycling old tweets. And
right,
exactly
right.
What your title says, you're exposing people, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah. It's just now it's kind of like it's more than you have to think about which ones to use. I'm getting suggestions from everybody a day, a gazillion of them, and people will send me one that's really good, but I already did like 3 on that topic. It's kind of, you got to do it in the right way, or else you're just beating the same drum over and over about the various different topics. It starts to get a little bit more strategic after a while. It did, because I was getting more and more good suggestions.
Fred, what made you want to do this? I'm assuming this is kind of time consuming to do, but like, what made you, when you first started, what made you want to do this?
I did it for fun. I just wanted to mess with the reporters, journalists. I was like a troll kind of thing, because they were always talking about how they got everything right. So at least only bringing up the ones they got right.
So was there anyone specific that you were trying to keep honest, or is there anyone that you feel like pops up more on your retweets than most other people? Is there someone that gets exposed often?
And why is it Darren Ravel?
No, he's not actually. He doesn't really get, because he doesn't really make any forward. He doesn't make any sports predictions or like forward thinking, like a more of a predictive thing. Like, he doesn't think this team's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He just says analysis that a lot of people disagree with, maybe, but that's really more subjective.
Yeah.
So, the teams that I like, my team, you kind of focus on, you remember when someone, especially a national reporter or national TV personality, says something about your team.
Mm-hmm.
You always remember that. And then, a week later, that same person who's done 3 hours of TV a day probably doesn't remember he even said it. But the fans of that team will remember it forever. So that's like the type of things I would remember when I started doing it, the feed, because I would remember stuff like that. And that's how I started thinking about this stuff. But then you start getting that teams of every type of team in every type of sport were sending me their stuff because of that. They're remembering what they said, like Iowa basketball or something. Some guy from ESPN said they were going to have a bad year once on TV. Those guys remember that. No one else does.
That's the best.
They sent it to me. Yeah, so that's the type of thing that really got me to start doing it. I mean, I've been trying to troll. I've been coming up with troll feeds for a while, messing with people.
Yeah.
At that time, because the Twitter I felt that it was a fun place to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been doing it for a long time. I had a spell check one, but they were very, 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 at the beginning, they would suspend me.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask, like,
different rules. Yeah.
in the beginning, how did you find all of this? Like, because now like you mentioned earlier, people are tagging you all the time. And, if like, yes, I was going through the timeline, like at halftime of the Kansas Miami game, I mean, a ton of people were saying like Kansas is fucked and they suck. There's no shot they have a chance. And then obviously they outscore Miami by 32 in the second half. You get tagged in a million tweets. It's, people are essentially not doing your job for you, but they're making it easier. When you first started, I mean, I'm assuming people weren't tagging you in tweets all the time. Were you manually searching?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was manually searching because the search function on Twitter, I was a lawyer at the time. I practiced as a lawyer at the time, but I went to law school and everything. And one of the things you learn in law school pretty quickly is how to search for case law on various different forms of platforms that they have for case law research. And you learn like search terms and different ways to do it. And the search terms on Twitter are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do is like, so if a coach gets fired, all you have to do is like go to Wikipedia or something and look up the coach, and then it'll tell you the exact day he was hired. So then you just look up the coach's name and then put tweets from the day he was hired, then a couple of days after.
That's fucking brilliant.
And then you just see all the different comments. Now that was before they had the quote tweet function where you could go do the quote tweet. Now it's even more strategic. Like, so when a big announcement comes, just like the Chiefs are trading their pick. The Chiefs are trading up to 10 and picking Mahomes. Like the first break, Schefter or Rappaport or something. That gets like so much engagement.
Mm-hmm.
All you do is now you can just press the quote tweet thing, and scroll through those. But those are going to be like commenting on a tweet that's already there. So there's like terrible move. Those don't come up and just searching for Mahomes.
Yeah.
When you search, so those are even like those. You look for those too. Those type of things. Josh Allen, the Bills are trading. I think the Bills traded up to get Allen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure there was a million for him.
Yeah, a lot of them for him. They picked the wrong Josh. If you go to that date of that draft and you say wrong Josh, I mean, just going to be like.
Because Josh Rosen too.
Josh Rosen was better, yeah. You got a lot of those, right? But that's different strategic type of maneuvers. But during games, since the bookmark thing came out like 5 years ago, and I used to do this during games, but it was harder. I put it into an email draft. But anytime a game starts out where a team goes on a big run or anything, especially college football, like. Alabama drives right down the field and scores in like the playoff or something in the first drive. And right then and there, people are going to say, this is going to be a blowout, So right then I just start bookmarking all those when I see them. The Kansas game was kind of like that, but they weren't as many people, especially like, the ones with the blue checks, which is the ones I always go for, because you could if I just went for random fans, it would be the easiest thing in the world. I mean, there's 1,000 gold takes on every topic from random fans.
Yeah, there's 1,000 needs out there. Yeah.
Yeah, but so I just put that in my bookmarks right away, immediately. In any game, it's big and everyone's watching.
Oh yeah, so I'm sure you have to.
Lead, I'm automatically bookmarking all these tweets like right away, and then just in case. There's a comeback, and then in that case, it happened the other day. I can tell you when it happened. In the North Carolina basketball game
against Baylor.
I think it was the Sweet 16 against Baylor. Or was it the lead? It was the second
round. The round of 32.
Baylor, yeah, against Baylor, when it hit with a second to hit overtime. There were people, I like it. It was like there's like principles that you follow, like that they threw out North Carolina's best player. The second they did that, it started to go south. It was kind of like a controversial thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think it would be cool to post that all these people talking about North Carolina was going to win, and they were doing it before that player got thrown out and everything turned south. But at overtime, that's it. North Carolina's done. There's no way to come back from this.
Yeah, I mean, when overtime started, I absolutely hammered Baylor. So yeah, I got fucked by them too.
Yeah, everybody was doing that. Like I pressed bookmarks with so many. So then, like the second the game was over, you just post that. Like you post you go to your bookmarks and you just have 5 straight. You just take a screenshot of that and then just post it.
I will say,
if you're watching the game, yeah.
No, Fred, I will say, like when I see you like in that situation, if I bet North Carolina and they came back like in overtime, obviously I see you retweeting all these people are like Baylor's a lock right now. Like as overtime started, I feed into that troll and I just like every single one. I'm like, yep, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Right. You're cool. Fuck you. I'm out.
Yeah. I used to use the like a lot to get those save those ones. But then people thought I actually liked it, you know. Yeah, so that's it's all that kind of stuff. But I find people say they find out news from me. They see the opposite of whatever happened.
I mean, I do.
I'm not gonna lie, I do. I find out news from people. Like I either do something or just hang out, doing something with my kids. Go back to my phone and I see all these tags to something. I'm like, what happened? It's that type of thing.
Yeah.
There was big news. There was big news the other day. I mean, like whatever the big news was recently. There's been a lot of big news recently. I think maybe Watson was one of them.
Uh-huh.
Stuff like that. I definitely found out from going back to my phone and not knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's texting me all these different things, and so that's one of them. Yeah, stuff like that. But I get tagged to everything, a gazillion times too, 1,000 times the exact same thing.
So now, is it just you that runs this account, or do you have a team? Like, are you on every weekend all the time, or is it just like it's just whenever you're free, you just hop on Twitter and just troll?
No, it's only me.
I love that.
I'm the only one who's ever run it. People
One man show.
Team, but there's not.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, but I get so much stuff. It could be. I mean, I get to the point where I have to reply to different ones and say like, "Thanks for the tag." People see it under it. They don't tag me anymore.
Yeah.
Get reply to the same thing. Like, that's really bad ones when a person, like, what's his name? Dave Roberts said, "Oh, we're going to win the World Series," like harmlessly. Well,
yeah. How many tags did you get for that?
I was going to say that's a good one to save.
It's the worst because it's not just like every single outlet, big account,
tags you,
posts it
mm-hmm.
with one of those big images with the quote, and I get tagged 1,000 times to each one. So it's like 6 times as many. Yeah.
Yeah, but when the Dodgers when they lose in like the NLDS this year, you're just going to have an absolute field day with that then.
But you say that, but I'm not really going to have a field day. I'm just going to post that one quote once.
Yeah, it's just one tweet.
You see,
I guess, yeah.
I'm going to have a field day, and then like, and then I'm going to get tagged to all the other ones. But,
yeah, I guess actually I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess field day would be more of like, team loses, they're supposed to win. And then I could have various different posts.
Yeah.
But so that kind of stuff.
Was there a specific? Go ahead, Max.
I was just gonna say, so you have to be interacting with a pretty polarizing group of people. Like, there's probably most people out there probably love you because you're exposing these analysts to the blue check marks and stuff. But the people who you're digging up these old tweets from probably aren't too too fond. Have you ever had like a tough interaction with anyone or anything like that? Probably not. But I mean, when they see you, when they see the Grim Reaper coming to retweet their old tweets, they can't feel too good.
What they don't like the most is getting tagged. Like whenever they say anything predictive, even remotely predictive, I get tagged under it a bunch of times. That's what they don't like the most. They hate that more than getting their tweet retweeted.
Is there a certain person that you just don't like, you just stay away from, that you don't expose? Like I've seen you like with, I'll say, not that it's like they get pissed, but I'm like on Twitter, Big Cat's always just kind of like fucking around on there. So it's not like everything he tweet, like with Duke, it's like tongue in cheek.
You have to kind of feel it out and see like any type of, if they're serious or not. Sometimes it just gets to be so many tags about it that I'm going to do it anyway, because just to get it to stop.
Yeah.
But those guys cause me a little bit of it. Those guys are pretty big nuisances to me, because they do that all day long with the shtick, but nobody figures it out. Portnoy is probably the worst one with that, because every day posts like 5 posts a day about how Michigan's amazing and all this stuff. And we're going to win by a gazillion points. Like, and everybody knows it's just like part of his thing. You know, it's not really serious. Not everybody knows, obviously, but then it's like thousands of people who don't know that tag me. So, so I'll usually retweet one of them after the game, but I don't really go that all in on it, because we all know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you could tell sometimes with Big Cat's semi-serious. Maybe not serious. Maybe he posts something and maybe he says it in grand hyperbole.
Mm-hmm.
But the thought of what he believes is kind of in there. So then I'll use that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a certain, on the opposite end, is there a certain person that you just like can't wait to expose?
No, because
Skip Bayless sounds like he'd be a fun one to expose.
Colin Cowherd. Skip Bayless. Yeah, he's probably the best.
Bayless is does a lot of things like, well, first of all, he used to question the sincerity of anything he posts, but he does a lot of stuff like Big Cat. Like he does this reverse jinx shtick every game LeBron plays. So like if LeBron's winning in the first half, he goes, "Oh, this game's over. LeBron definitely will win this." You know, like all this stuff. And because he doesn't want LeBron to win, it's a reverse jinx attempt. And I'll get tagged if LeBron doesn't win, and that's what Skip wanted. I don't really use him that much. It's too simple.
Yeah,
it's like
fishing with dynamite.
It's just not. You know, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I just say it's. People say I should use it a lot, but those same people will get annoyed if I post and Skip every day.
Yeah.
Cowherd's show and all of his content on the radio and TV is probably the most publicized. I mean, like the most clips of his show more than anything are all over the place. So that's a disadvantage to him in terms of what I do. But it's probably an advantage to him because that's why they do it, because they don't care.
Exactly.
The doesn't care. He doesn't care. They just want to throw him out there and have him get polarizing personality. But so I have a lot of
throw shit at the wall until it sticks. Yeah, it makes complete sense.
You could search for Colin stuff all the time because it's all clipped in. I'm sure there's a radio show he hosts in Houston, a radio show host in Chicago is spewing shit all over the place. But his clips or quotes aren't just posted all day long by the producers of his show or the network. So he's not going to be able to, I'm not going to be able to get him unless I watch his show all day.
Yeah, and like who has the time to, watch every second of Colin Cowherd or Skip Bayless? Like you're literally a one-man show. You can't do all of this.
Nobody can do it. And if you did that, I mean, if there was somebody watching and listening to all these shows, I mean, like the contradictions would be all over the place because they contradict themselves all the time. Colin doesn't, a guy like Colin Cowherd, he doesn't care one bit. He starts a different slate every day, clean slate, which means like he doesn't even think about anything he said in the past.
Yeah. I feel like he's becoming more self-aware. Don't you?
A little bit. Like, well, he's making fun of himself.
Yeah.
More people make fun of him about how he loves USC, so he kind of does that himself now. He's getting more and more into making fun of himself, right? Or he does a lot of the same jokes. Like if he got one dead wrong, he'll say, I called it with this team. I knew it.
Yeah.
When they win, something like that, right?
Yeah. Fred, is there an event that happened, I'll say pre-Twitter, that you wish Twitter was around for, that you could have just had an absolute field day for? Have you ever thought about that?
The best one I can think of is the ALCS from 2004.
Yeah. Oh, God, that would have been perfect.
So 3-0 baseball series and baseball and basketball series playoffs are really, really good for like aggregation.
Because they last for weeks or days at a time.
And you have days to search up the stuff. And in baseball, you have like so much time in between plays to even, go so slowly to figure it out. So that one would be good. The NLCS 2003 with the Marlins and the Cubs. Hey,
easy there. You're talking to two Cubs fans.
Oh,
you're a Marlins fan? Fuck.
Yeah. I grew up with the Marlins. I grew up 15 minutes from the stadium.
You're our daddy.
Ever.
You're our daddy.
We used to buy $4 seats for the upper deck. And we'd go down to like the third row behind home plate because there was like 2,000 people there for a 30,000 seat stadium. And if you go past the second inning, you didn't even have to pay for parking. That's how it was for Florida Marlins that time, but not that season. And I went to 4 playoff games that year and a World Series game. That game would have been great. That series would have been great, but it was 3-1.
We know.
It was 3-1. The game before I went to the game before, it was hot as balls before the Bartman game, which was a Beckett 2-hit shutout. Game 5
Zambrano, yeah,
saved us. Yeah, that was a great game.
Unfortunately, we know this all too well, and you're just pouring salt in the wound for us. You're literally just pissing on our grave. It's okay. No, go ahead.
That season for the Marlins, it was just a typical run-of-the-mill, no one cared season.
These are all suppressed memories that we need to talk about at some point. It's like a therapy session.
It was May or June. I think it was May or June. We had our manager was fucking, the guy who used to manage the Expos or whatever.
Wait, so that season, the Marlins, Jack McKeon, or is it Jack McKeon, right? Wasn't that the manager? He wasn't the manager.
And we fired who was the manager before Jack McKeon that same season? God, we hated him.
Jeff Torborg.
He was
holy fuck! I had no idea.
We were just so stupid. We were headed towards a standard Marlins season.
16-22 with Jeff Torborg and 75-49 with Jack McKeon. What a turnaround!
We fired Torborg. It was in May or so, and we was okay, fine, whatever. Then we hired trader Jack McKeon. We didn't care. We didn't think it was going to be anything, but it turned around. But we knew we had a good team. Because
I didn't realize they had a coaching change mid-season. That's a nice people forget thing right there.
Yeah, or people just didn't know.
Right.
Yeah, we knew we had a good team, but we never thought that it was the same bullshit, because we had sold off all of our players after 1998 and it was finally coming into fruition. A lot of these guys were really finally coming into fruition. And we got Miguel Cabrera that season. Miguel Cabrera, we didn't even play him until mid-season. He was huge for us. He was 20 years old.
I'm looking at the Marlins just overall, like the most wins they've ever had in a season is they've won 90 games twice, over 90 games twice. In both years, they won the World Series. They won 92 and 91 games. They've been in the playoffs, three times? They've won the World Series twice. They beat the Cubs twice.
So we made the playoffs that stupid year with the
2020, yeah.
With the 2020 year. But the Boston, the 97 year was the year we bought all the players to win the World Series specifically. And I don't think we won the division.
No,
but we did win the World Series.
Yeah.
And the year, the 2003 team was really good, but it was just like the Miguel Cabrera was huge. He was 20, and we had him at third base maybe.
Yeah.
For a lot of the season, and then we moved into right field.
Because he played left field. Because then wasn't Mike Lowell at third? Mike
Lowell. Jeff Conine was in left field.
Then maybe Miggy wasn't right because Derek Lee. Jesus
right.
Christ! This is just.
Mike Lowell was the third. We had Pudge Rodriguez at catcher. It was one year he played for us.
Juan Pierre in center, Luis Castillo at second. Who was the shortstop? Was it the other Alex Gonzalez?
It was the other
Alex Gonzalez. Aegon.
Oh, motherfucker. You guys had the good Alex Gonzalez.
No, I think wasn't it Juan
Encarnacion? The one that killed you guys. Juan Encarnacion, was he was Juan Pierre we had Luis Castillo leading off and Juan Pierre batting second, or it could have been the other way around.
Juan Pierre led off, yeah.
Derek Lee was our first baseman. We got him in the trade. I think we traded Sheffield to San Diego.
There's one thing we could all agree on this call is that Derek Lee was the man.
Yeah, he was better for you guys. He was still solid. He was still solid for us. He was a great fielding first baseman, I remember. And Juan Pierre had the worst arm center fielder. But we had Carl Pavano in the rotation, Mark Redmond, Josh Beckett,
D-Train,
Dontrell. Dontrell was another one who came on in the middle of the year. All these guys came on mid-season.
Dontrell was a former Cubs farmhand, actually.
Yeah,
drafted by the Cubs.
That was his rookie year, maybe, I think.
Yeah.
He did not play. No one even knew who he was until mid-season. And what's it called? That guy and Miguel Cabrera came on, and we also had we bought Ugas Urbina, who blew so many games in the playoffs that people don't realize, and we had Rob Nen, got moved to the setup guy. He was our closer for a long time. So no, it wasn't Rob Nen.
I'm looking at the roster. I don't see Rob Nen.
Braden Looper.
Braden
Looper.
I'm looking at the roster
beforehand.
There's a guy
before that, and then we had Chad Fox,
former Cub.
He was,
I think, right, Max?
Guy.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Mid-inning guy.
Nate Bump. I have that guy. I have no idea who he is. I have his autograph though. Swear to God.
5 players in the rotation: Pavano, Beckett, Redmond,
Brad Penny.
That was and AJ Burnett.
And AJ, fuck, that's a squad and a half.
Was AJ Burnett on that team?
Yeah,
he was. Yeah. And Brad Penny. Yeah, Brad Penny was great. Game 1, I think it was, of the World Series.
Yeah.
And but Mark Redmond was our worst pitcher. And he had to pitch Game 7, and Kerry Wood hit a 3-run homer.
Oh my God, that was electric.
Yeah. And we thought we were done.
I think that was the craziest I've ever seen Wrigley Field.
Yeah. Redmond also lost Game 4, I think it was. Or Game 3, first game in Miami in that series.
Game 2, he lost.
Yeah, Game 3 he did. It was the first game in Miami. His first 2 games were in Chicago. Game 1, Lowell hit a home run straightaway center.
Into the basket, I think, right?
Yeah, into the basket. And
you're right. Brad Penny lost Game 2, and then Redmond pitched Game 3.
Yeah.
We know our stuff, Fred. This was the sweet spot of our childhood, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know you said Derek Lee was better for us. He He
much better.
won 0 playoff games in like 11 years for us, or 9 years, however. 0-6.
Yeah, well, at least he was able to experience it at the with Trader Jack,
Yeah.
We guess there being a blue game 1 of the World Series, and then but we still won the game or game 3 of the World Series, the first game in Miami, because he blew it and we tied the game. They tied the game in the bottom of the ninth, or top of the ninth, and then Alex Gonzalez hit like a home run, like that was like 330 feet to win the game walk off.
Your memory is like you're like fucking Rain Man.
Oh man, we loved it.
All right, what inning was it? Let's see if you know that. What inning was it?
It was like 13th, maybe
12th. The 12th.
Alex Gonzalez, the shortstop, he wasn't that great of a hitter.
No.
He was a great shortstop, and he hit that home run, and but Urbina blew that game. He blew the game against the Giants when we walked off on a Jeff Conine throwing out JT Snow at home to beat them 3-1 in the division series, and that was another game that Urbina blew. So like
I never even realized that he blew game. Was that game 4?
Well, he didn't blow the game. He was about to blow it. He got lucky that we threw out at home. It was like a very, very shoddy save.
Well, I'm gonna look it up what his ERA was in that.
Do we think Josh Beckett had the beer and fried chicken going on in that rotation too?
Oh my God, Josh Beckett was so good that World Series. He did have a bad game, maybe against the Giants game 1. I think he was our ace by the end of the year. But Josh Beckett was a guy that we picked in the draft, and it was the 2nd pick overall in the draft, I believe. He was a stud from the day we got him, but he never really came into fruition yet until that time. And he never really was able to duplicate it afterwards because he kept getting all these blisters.
Didn't Ugueth Urbina get arrested for something?
Yeah, he went to jail for years in Venezuela.
Is he still in jail?
I don't know, but there was an amazing article about how much he had all this money, so he was able to buy himself like the greatest jail. Like he had like his own cell with like a great TV and all this shit. Like they showed this videotape of his cell. It was like the coolest thing. Probably didn't want to leave jail.
So I'm
here's a quick trivia question for you on Josh Beckett. How many 200 strikeout seasons did he have?
I don't know how many.
0.
Like how many seasons did he pitch the whole season?
So let's see.
He always had blisters.
Yep.
He needed to do the Moises Alou method and start peeing on his hands. Get that tough actin on his skin.
Moises Alou was one of the guys we bought in '97.
Yeah, and she's like the Cubs and Marlins were just like swapping players. A little key party down there.
Yeah,
we bought so many guys for that World Series. I mean, like it was just. We also had a great staff already. We had Kevin Brown from Milwaukee. We had already traded for him years before. Al Leiter, we had him. So,
that's crazy. Fred, real quick before let's jump into the starting.
You guys probably have to cut this part out.
No, you're good. No,
we're definitely leaving this in.
Trust me, we're keeping all of this in here.
People, by the way, I wanted to drop that Scott Olsen.
There are very few Marlins fans the way we were Marlins fans.
No, I loved it.
Even the people who came on board for that 2003 World Series just because didn't know any of the players in the team really.
Jump on the bandwagon. Who gives a fuck?
Very, very niche. It was a very niche thing. Nobody cared about the Marlins.
No, I love that.
Just to show you how deep in the weeds we get, one of the most name drop players on our podcast is probably Mark Bellhorn.
Listen.
Yeah.
I mean, we remember Ryan. I remember Ryan Dempster. He started off on the Marlins in '98. I remember him telling a story about how in '98 they would get their dicks kicked off like every game. They just sucked.
Oh yeah. The '98 Marlins was the worst team I've ever seen because we had just sold off. We decided we were going to sell off. We won the World Series and we got rid of every single good player we had.
And then lost 108 games the next year.
Yeah, we got rid of every good player we had. And then we had to rebuild. The trades we made actually were good. In 2003, after we won the World Series, they weren't as good. After we started trading all the guys.
Yeah, it was a looking here.
And the Miguel Cabrera trade was the worst. That really killed us because we knew we were going to end up trading him, and we traded him in maybe like 06, I think it was possibly.
Yeah, in the 06 offseason going into 07. Yeah.
And we got nothing out of it. No.
You got Cam Maben.
He stunk. He stunk. And we also got that pitcher. We got the pitcher who ended up being a good setup guy for Cleveland when they played you guys in the World Series.
Andrew Miller,
but he wasn't a good starter for us.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
He was a starter for us. We had a catcher, stupid catcher, and then we had the other pitcher who stunk. And then we had and then the Yelich trade too. We fucked up.
Oh yeah, I just saw. Yelich. Maybe you retweeted something? I don't know. I just saw something that was like the 4 players that the Marlins got. Like, was it Lewis Brinson? I don't even know that guy, but whoever the 4 players that they got, none of them are even with the organization anymore.
Not only that, Lewis Brinson was like terrible. Like he was so bad. Lewis Brinson, he not only was he bad, but he's like one of those things where he would never be allowed to be this bad anywhere else. Like he would have been sent down, but they kept trotting him out there. His first year, he struck out like every other at bat. He was so bad, Lewis Brinson, and he was a hometown kid. Oh, fuck that guy.
Oh fuck, that's good. Well, Fred, do you have time to do a quick starting 5 here?
Yeah, let's do it. All
right, we'll wrap through this because we want to make sure we're cautious of your time here. So again, this is just biggest upsets. It could be anything you could think of that is associated with upsets. We'll go 5 rounds. We'll snake draft around. So Fred, as the guest, you can go first.
All right. Well, Shakespeare in Love winning the Oscar in '98 for Best Picture was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I mean, I don't even know if it's an upset. Like, is it an upset when someone wins an Oscar when they shouldn't?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But is that really an upset?
You think they'd be plus money?
Definitely, but because people were picked because it's an upset but people chose it from the committee. So
no, it's an upset. If it's let's say plus money, it's got to be plus money
to earn the upset. So some assholes just picked it.
It was rigged. Oscars are rigged.
Sometimes that's how it works.
Definitely rigged. It was definitely rigged. I mean, you got to see the list of movies that got snubbed that year. Fucking Shakespeare Love. Okay, that one.
All right, so how we'll do this, Fred, is then Max will go, I'll go, then I'll go again, and then Max, and then you, and then it will kind of just like loop around. Does that work?
Yeah, just tell me when it's my turn.
Yeah, I gotcha. I know we get lost in the snake every time. Max, go ahead.
All right, easy first pick. I'm definitely stealing yours, Kyle. USA beating Russia in the next Olympics.
Son of a bitch.
That's a layup.
Oh my God,
that's got to be the best sports upset of all time.
I thought, Fred, when I asked if you were going to pick or if you had an event that you wanted to go back to, I thought that was the event that came to mind. Like the USA versus Russia. Fuck them. Fuck Russia.
I mean, like you kind of want to come up with better, and you kind of want with more like unique ones in your head. You're trying to think of more unique ones because USA Russia is so obvious.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So like, yeah.
All right, my pick. I'm gonna go, and I know you probably had a field day with this one. I'm gonna go Falcons blowing a 28-3 lead to the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that one. That was big that day.
That's got to be a big one.
The Super Bowl.
It's a nice one.
Yeah. I mean, like that was a tough one because during that Super Bowl, I was trying to put together a lot of different things, and then I ended up getting in this rabbit hole with like Tom Brady shit, like the pre-Super Bowl stuff about Tom Brady. Tom Brady's gonna win. Tom Brady, all that shit, and then it went backfired. So by the time they got their second touchdown, maybe that in the fourth quarter, I started going back.
I think that's actually the day I found out about your account because I absolutely hammered the Patriots. And I remember we were at Max's house. I was so pissed, and then they won. And one of my buddies sent me like your account, and I was like, "Oh, this is the best." And that's when it was love it. It was love at first like.
It would fun to see it would be fun to see a progression of how the odds changed throughout that game from when it was 28-3 to the end.
Yeah, my heart rate was high the whole time. I'll tell you that. And then my second pick here, I'm gonna go UMBC over Virginia in March Madness. I know, was that 2018 maybe?
16 seed beating a 1 seed.
Yeah, 16 over a 1.
That was a good one.
Okay.
Next year up.
All right, I'm gonna go the Giants beating the Patriots in the 2007 Super Bowl. I think they were 12-point underdogs.
They were 12-point dogs. I almost thought of that one.
That's a good one. All right, so Fred, now you have 2 picks here.
All right, well, one of them, I mean, if you're going to go back to championship games, there was a championship game in 1987 in the Fiesta Bowl. Miami came in. They're supposed to be world beaters. And Penn State beat them. They're a clearly inferior team. And just all around, they won that game for the national championship.
Mm-hmm.
Miami came up with Army fatigues on their airport, off the airplane. They're really, really, Vinny Testaverde was like all world at the time. They had Michael Irvin, they had all these guys.
Yeah.
And they lost that game. Miami used to play a lot of their national championships back in the day in the home. So this was different for them.
That was a great call there.
Yeah, that one. And then let's think. So we can go back to the tournament. In 1985, Georgetown was like the greatest team of all time. One of them. And Mutombo and Patrick Ewing, and they lost. I don't know.
Yeah, Fred said he wasn't prepared, but he's coming with the heavy hitters right now.
I say, fuck, Fred. Got all the answers.
I think he's sandbagging us.
He's sandbagging, son of a bitch.
Villanova beat Georgetown, shot 75% from the field, the national championship game, and they were like a 9 seed, maybe, I don't know, but they beat Georgetown. And
they're an 8 seed.
I don't think there was a shot clock there. They held the ball like fucking crazy.
That's crazy to think that back in even as late as like the 80s that there wasn't a shot clock in college basketball. That's bonkers.
And when I first started watching college basketball back in the early 90s, there was a 45-second shot clock.
So Villanova's shooting percentage in that game?
Go back to 45. Yeah, offensive rebound.
Villanova's shooting percentage in that game was 78%.
Get the fuck out of here. 78%?
Yeah.
They barely shot either. They held the ball and they just made all their shots.
How many? Can you see how many shots they took, Max?
Yeah, I'll look that up.
That's crazy. Holy shit!
It was a clear case of just like a team trying to do whatever it took to because of their advantage and try to be able to beat the team that was way better.
Wow, that's crazy.
Love a good underdog story.
Max, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna go the Convicts beating the Guards in the longest yard.
No fucking way. That was my next one. God damn it.
Oh, even movie upset.
Paul Crew had the boys buzzing with some schoolyard bullshit.
All right. Wow. God damn. All right. Well then, you know what? I'm gonna take one that we mentioned earlier. I'm going just David versus Goliath.
Nice.
Strictly David versus Goliath. Take that however you will. I'm taking that's how I'm taking it.
All right, so quick update on the stats. Villanova shot 28 times that game. Georgetown shot 53 times.
Come on.
Yep.
And Villanova won?
Yeah, Villanova made 22 of their shots. Georgetown made 29.
What was the final score?
66-64 Villanova.
Oh my God. I love that, but that's wild. All right, and then so for my next pick, I'm going to go when the Cubs were down 3-1, that comeback, coming back from a 3-1 deficit to break a 108-year curse. That, Fred, that's what we call around here pandering to our audience.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. You know who was actually bigger favorites? I think the Patriots were bigger underdogs than Giants were. I mean, for their first Super Bowl when they played the Rams.
Really?
Yeah, weren't they 14-point favorite or dogs?
Yeah, they're big dogs at that time. The Rams were like the Jazz at that time. Yeah, so right.
Who's up, Max?
I think it's me,
Max,
right?
Yeah. Max, you're up.
Okay. Shit, I just had one that I was going to use.
And real quick, Fred, you're right. They were the Rams were 14-point favorites there.
Right.
Max, you bet.
Yeah, why am I blanking so hard? I guess I'll go. I literally forgot what I was just going to say, but I'm going to go St. Peter's. St. Peter's making it to the Elite Eight as a 15 seed.
That was the Kentucky game was a really big upset. With St. Peter's, they had no business winning that game.
I mean, I had Kentucky in my championship. I'm sure a lot of people did.
And it was an afterthought. I mean, like it couldn't even possibly happen. It's not even like they played lights out. Kentucky had so many open shots it was missing. Yeah.
And then Fred, you have your final two picks here.
Well, the biggest one. I mean, I was in fourth grade. And it happened overnight. Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson because it
that's a great one.
And it was, but at the time, Mike Tyson was just an unbeatable person. And as a kid, like they really kind of bought into him. They kind of made it out like he was just like not even a real man.
Mm-hmm.
He was beyond that. He was like an unstoppable force, a monster. Like just like there's no way he could ever lose. And when that happened, it was insane. And you could just like go, but it happened overnight. It was in Japan.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And then, what?
And yeah, you have your last one here.
Oh, the next one was, and when you look at now, and you don't think it probably wasn't as big of an upset as it was thought to be. But when Duke beat UNLV, it crushed them. Well, they didn't crush them. UNLV crushed Duke the year before. Duke beat UNLV in the Final Four in 91. It was Duke's first championship. And UNLV was going to go back. They wanted to go back to back because they were undefeated. And they had Larry Johnson and Doug Anthony and all those guys and Jerry Tarkanian. And it was Jerry Tarkanian's like last year going to be the coach because he had been on all sorts of probation and everything, and he broke all these rules. They allowed him to play in that tournament without any probation or anything. It was like a settlement they made. So
yeah, that's a little before our time. I mean, but
yeah, UNLV was so crazy.
I always forget UNLV was like good.
Oh my God, they were the team, but they played in the Metro, which is a shitty ass conference. They always won undefeated. At least those 4 years, especially when they got like Larry Johnson, who came from JUCO. Greg Anthony was a hometown kid, I think. He was from Vegas, and then they had like all these other kids, and but he was always playing with the rules and everything, and the players were like they really felt like outlaws. Like they by the end of the game, or like by mid first half, their shirts weren't even tucked in. Their shirts were all untucked.
You think it helped to have the mafia on their side?
Oh yeah, are you watching that show? Meantime, yeah, they had everything. Tarkanian used everything he could possibly use. He threw everything out there.
Listen, if you're not
they were really good for a long time. UNLV were the worst program ever before that. It's not really a big budget.
Yeah. Max, you're up.
All right, I'm gonna go with a lamp. This is the one I forgot last round, but Red Sox coming back against the Yankees down 0-3 in the ALCS.
Oh yeah,
you piece of shit. Yeah, I feel like you just
upset.
Did I steal all your picks, Kyle?
I mean, I was kind of, when Fred mentioned that earlier, I was like, "Fuck, somebody's gonna take that in the draft right before me." I should have. I thought it was gonna sneak past to the final round here, but it didn't. Oh well.
Baseball is such an upset thing. Like, you pitch bad game or whatever. play a whole regular season of all your 162 games, and it comes down to 3, 2.
Yeah.
And you lose
it's
series all
crazy.
the time. Yeah.
All right, my last pick. Shit. All mine are like, you guys took all of mine.
You could cry about it after the show.
I'm trying.
Wait.
Ty, do you have an honorary one you want to use for me here?
No, I did not even bother to think of a single
I
one.
was gonna say an upset would be you graduating college, but that talk about pandering. All right,
I'll turning on his computer today.
Hey, I'll go 3. I'm a hockey guy, Fred. I'm a diehard Hawks fan, but not that this is for the Hawks. But in 2010, the Flyers came back from a 3-0 deficit in a series, and then in Game 7, they came back from a 3-0 deficit as well to beat the Bruins. So I'm going to go 2010
the Bruins
Flyers in the I think it was the Eastern Conference semifinals.
That was so pathetic. But then the Bruins did another pathetic one with Toronto. The Bruins really kind of did the same thing as Toronto.
Oh, that's a good one too. Yeah, when they were down 4-1 in Game 7.
I don't really watch hockey that much, but I have that in the everyone was tagging. Was it geared? Was it around the time I saw the feed? When was it?
2013, I think that.
That's 2013. So it was. I didn't know the feed, but I just remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
I bet you right now
there was an upset. There was an upset in hockey, like the Lightning were so good. Like, I think it's 2018
against the Blue Jackets. They got swept.
Yeah, it's just that's what to me, like, it makes hockey less credible. Like, you just can get in the playoffs, and then it doesn't matter. Once you get in the playoffs, anything can happen.
I'll keep you honest on the hockey one. Especially this year, everybody's shitting on the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs haven't made it out of the first round in like a million years. I'm telling you, if they make it out of the first round, that is your field day. And if you get into the Canadian market there, those fucking Toronto Maple Leafs fans will love you if you just start exposing all these blue checks.
But the Maple Leafs, they always screw up. The officials screw up.
They're going and I think they're going to. I think they're going to as well. But hey, don't quote me on that.
We got the
Fred.
Here. So good.
Fred, thank you so much for joining us. Honestly, God, I mean, fuck, we thought we were going to go 30 minutes. We went a full hour here. This is the best. You're a recurring guest. You're going to have to come back on. I
have a book coming out. You can see my tweet on my.
Oh yes, please. That's actually I have that written down. Plug your book real quick.
Shout it out.
It's on my pinned tweet. It's called Freezing Cold Takes NFL. It's not like it'd be a list of freezing cold takes. You go through. You kind of like put context in all the takes, and I kind of write like stories about what was going on at the time, and all throughout the stories, all these different takes, or like what was going on, all the different takes that are being made. So it's like different chapters, and nice. Various different teams are covered. I don't cover every team. I cover like the best situations that really fit to me, but a lot from the past. Unfortunately, the Bears aren't covered in a chapter because
they suck all the time.
I didn't really do any about, like, very few about like a team that people said they were going to be great and then stunk.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of like a whole chapter just shitting on somebody or shitting on a team.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. It's always more fun when the team says the team was going to stink and then they became good, or stuff related to this team. And the Bears had the 85 Bears, but when I did my research, like, everyone's all over them. They were so good.
Yeah, they didn't really surprise anyone.
There wasn't any criticism about them before,
The biggest upset of that season was getting Walter Payton to do the Super Bowl show.
Was losing to the fucking Dolphins. Fred, I think what we learned about this whole thing is that you're our dad.
McMahon wasn't playing that game.
No, he wasn't.
Whoever was the backup quarterback, it wasn't Tom Zach. It was someone else.
It was damn. What was his name?
I know you remember. So we actually had Jim McMahon on the podcast, and he was telling us this whole story. He's like, how Dick told him that like just a couple of days beforehand that he wasn't going to play, and he essentially was just like, "I fuck this," and he just went out and got shit faced in Miami the whole week.
Right.
I think it was Steve Fuller, if I remember.
That was it. Yeah. So,
yeah. Jim McMahon.
We had McMahon on for about an hour, and he was telling a lot of good stories too.
That was a ridiculous upset and a ridiculous game. The Dolphins. That was a good Dolphins team. They lost to the Patriots in the playoffs, and it was a stupid ass game. It was terrible refereeing. That team was good. The Dolphins team was good. And probably should have been playing the Bears again in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So
Bears
when
Bears
does I see
them?
Well, you probably
I
would
see in your profile the book's available for pre-order. When's it actually available?
August. Yeah, so you can
Nice.
order for pre-order now. Yeah, but August will be when it comes out.
Love that.
Cool.
Well, we'll definitely. I'll definitely. Do you have? Hey, is there audiobooks? I kind of stink at reading, but if you have an audiobook, I'd be 1,000,000%.
I don't know about the audiobook yet.
It's all right. I'll take an Adderall. I'll take an Adderall. It's not a big deal.
It would be someone else doing it too. I'm not cool enough to narrate it myself.
Maybe we'll get Jim McMahon. He kind of likes us. We talked about smoking weed with him, so maybe I don't know if he'll remember us.
Oh yeah, Jim McMahon, from Orem, Utah, right? He must have loved growing up in Utah. All right, that sounds good. Yeah. I'll come back on around the time of the book.
Perfect. We'll have you back on in August then.
We'll talk about the Cubs making their NL Central push.
Yeah.
Right.
And how the Marlins are selling off.
Oh yeah. I'll guarantee. Yeah, we always sign guys too, like tricky contracts. We signed Soler.
Jorge Soler, former Cub.
Jorge Soler, 3-year deal. He's got an option after year one, so it's really only one.
Yeah, I know. I would have liked him on the north side here, back on the north side, but he stinks in cold weather. He's built.
I was going to say
he's literally built for Miami.
He'll do well down there. It's year round. Take the over on his April home run total.
Well, maybe it's May because he's late spring training.
Jazzy, our friends now. Jazzy's up. Another home run. Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah.
Jazz. Love Jazz.
Second year.
Jazz. I'm wearing a Kane County Cougar shirt. He was a legend there in Kane County.
Yeah, Kane County.
Here in the north.
County's a single A Marlins staple.
Yeah. Where like Beckett and Nelson Cruz, not that he was with the Marlins, but Dempster, Miguel Cabrera, all those guys.
I think what's his name came through there too. I think our first ever game was made in Kane County. No, I'm not sure actually. John Lynch threw the first ever pitch for the Marlins minor league.
Yeah.
John Lynch, the football player.
Niners GM.
Yeah. He was a pitcher. For the Marlins and in minors. And the summer league, I think it was the first ever franchise game. He was a starting pitcher.
Yeah. Actually, I do. I don't know if that was with the Cougars, but I've definitely heard of that before.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Why don't you?
All right. Well,
could you plug your Twitter? Not that anyone doesn't know your fucking social media handles, but go ahead and remind people what your handle is on Twitter, if you don't mind, for the Old Takes Exposed and the this day.
At Old Takes Exposed.
Bingo.
Make sure to tag Fred in all the obvious happenings out there too.
Instagram is Freezing Cold Take. And then there's TDI Sports Clips for Twitter. This Day in Sports Clips for Instagram.
Love it.
And then I like your Chicago ones. I retweet them a lot.
I love it. Yeah, keep retweeting it. We always get a little bump in followers when you retweet us. I love it.
Yeah, it's probably harder to come up with the
yeah. It's harder too, especially when I'm just like on a Saturday or Sunday and I wake up and I'm like just absolutely crippled from the night before. I'm like, I'm not doing this today.
No, what you gotta do is you gotta go through like one day. You gotta go through a good deal, like the best highlights in Chicago history, best game in Chicago history, and then let's put it in calendar.
Schedule them. Yep.
Yeah, just schedule them out.
My calendar is just full. I've been doing that since 2008. My calendar has like 10 entries for every single day.
Let me tell you, Fred. You sound like a very organized person. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum there.
No, I'm not that organized.
Not even wearing pants right now. Oh shit! All right, Fred. Thank you so much for coming on again. We'll have you back on in August. Sound good?
Perfect. Yeah, sounds good. Thanks.
All right,
man. Have a good one.